Welcome, guys. This is the Kyle Hartman Project. I am so happy you are tuning in. I have some really good stuff for you this episode. One thing I know I said was going to be that I was going to put out an episode every week. That's probably going to stay pretty true. I might throw some episodes in between, and that's just how it is. I want to put an episode out when I feel like I've learned something, or that I have something I really want to share that may help somebody. For the episode right now, I just had what I felt like was going to be a shitty morning and a shitty day. And I just kind of overcame the adversity. I hunted good stuff until I found it. And then once I was, not stressed about what happened, I was able to actually, come up with a really smooth idea that could actually be huge. And then I also came up with, just so much more motivation to work harder, and that just led to me wanting to put out another episode for you guys. And so basically what happened was right before I left for work this morning, it was like 5:20. I got on Flights, the app, which is a great app, no issues there. Saw the lowest price for a flight home for tomorrow night till Saturday. I was planning to get with Tyler Duff to record our episode together on the podcast. Now, that's still going to happen, but that was just one of the things I was going home to do. And so they said I was booked, emailed me, let me know that they'd email me the confirmation in 30 minutes. And the flight I selected on the Flights app was through Kiwi.com. And so the price was set in the email they sent me and everything. I thought I was booked, stopped looking at my emails and went to my real job. Now, my real job, just a little quick story, is something that takes great attention to detail, and I also do a lot of driving. And so I really just don't have a lot of time to be on my phone while I'm working at my full-time job. And so I was already at work when they then emailed me at 8:20, so it was like 3 hours later. And they told me that the price of my flight had changed, and then I had to pay them like $77 more. And then the only other option was to cancel. So I looked at canceling. I was like, I'll just grab another flight. No big deal. Well, they said that you can cancel, but you wouldn't get your money for up to 10 business days. So the reimbursement was just a long process. So, of course, I tried my best all morning while working to, I was on phone with both companies, customer support. I'm sorry, not both companies, with Kiwi.com, and then Frontier Airlines was the airlines I went through. So I was on phone with both of those companies for a good while this morning. And so it really just started out to be a day that was going to really, bog me down. And so I think that, the thing that was stressing me out the most was that I just was at my job. So I just really didn't have time to sit down and organize and strategize, a resolution to the issue. And so I didn't want to pay more money, because what I found out was that in the terms and conditions for Kiwi.com, they can't guarantee that price will stay. The price can go up and they change it. And so I asked them, I said, if I pay this again, what's the chances of it going up again? And she just kept saying, we can't guarantee anything. And so I didn't want to spend more money. I don't have money to just keep, I just pay more for the flight. That's not how I wanted it to go. And so where my stress came from was, not being able to organize a new plan. And so I had to drop the flight. That's okay, though, because what came out of it was my second episode. I'm recording this straight after dealing with the whole day. I just got home. I'm sitting in my bedroom. It's quiet. It's hot as hell, but I can't turn my fan on because it'll mess up this podcast. But I came up with this brilliant idea. I know last episode, my very first episode, one of the two things I really, really touched on were time. Time is everything. Time is what stressed me out today. Not having the time or being in the right scenario to have the time to strategize how I was going to make it home. So that pissed me off. And good enough, or lucky enough, I guess, I was able to to deal with it. And then what came of it is this, great idea that I've been advertising is going to be out on this episode. So if you were just kind of zoned out earlier, listen up close. Here's a very big idea that could potentially make somebody a great amount of money. So what I thought about was the fact that audio would have saved me a lot of trouble today. I could deal with, the calls to customer care with my earbud and still be able to do work. However, it was still a little distracting to deal with them, but when you're on hold for 10 minutes, you can get some things done, things of that nature. However, booking my flight, I had to go and deal with a bunch of crap on my phone to where I wasn't able to drive to work yet. I had to sit in my car this morning and make sure I had a flight booked. So what led to me messing up was the fact that I had to hurry up and book a flight so I could make it to work, but I didn't, it's just one of those things that I procrastinated the flight, not thinking I'd have issues, and I did. So I didn't have a lot of time in the booking process, and then I certainly didn't have a lot of time, when they needed all my information and needed me to look at my phone for, the flight information so they could look it up and all this crap. And with all I've been talking about with audio, one of the things I do on a regular basis now is try to resolve, time issues in any sort of business or any sort of market. Basically, if I have an issue in a day, I try to resolve it based on audio if it's a time issue. And so if that doesn't make sense, basically just what I'm telling you is to develop an app just like Expedia.com where somebody can book their flight, cancel a flight, handle any changes to the flight, be alerted about any changes to the flight, all via audio. Your app would have a number. They can call it and get anything they need. You can call it to let them know when the flights change. One thing I really see in a lot of airports, and I've been to a ton of airports, so I don't know if you agree or disagree with me, but this is just my opinion. There's no statistics to what I'm saying right now. However, I always feel like I see majority people on business. In some form or fashion, they are hustling through that airport, and they obviously need to get somewhere. And one thing, sorry, I have flies all over my Mountain Dew. Give me a second. All right, sorry. One thing that I really considered was, like I said, all the things that were making me mad about the situation were simply because I just didn't have the time to sit down and figure them out. And so if you develop this app and you put everything audio, when they can call the app basically to book their flight. So I could have started my trip to work, hit a button, put my earbud in, put in the details for the flight, departure dates, times, details, how many passengers, you can select carry-on, things like that. You can just do it all automated. With one click of a button, you can talk to a live representative and go from there. I mean, start small. Maybe do it as a service for people out of straight convenience, or, design a way to start it. But the idea is there. I'm not going to build anything on it because I don't have the time. But I feel like I'm also going to be spitting out ideas like this all the time. And it's not so much to tell you guys, this is going to be the next best thing. It's to literally get you guys' opinions, because a lot of where I want to head in life has started by just talking to the right people, getting insight from people that have other knowledge that I don't. And it's already carried me a long, long way. And so I would hope that you guys give me some feedback if you like the idea. If somebody's out there that's hungry enough to just come out and grab that idea and run with it, just give me a call. Let's see what we can do with this thing. I'm all for it. If you think the idea is stupid, that's okay too. It probably is. There's probably already a bunch of things trying to do that. I don't know. I didn't do the research. That's kind of why I like doing this podcast, is I can just, spit things out that I don't need to think twice about. But I want to have documented in case they ever really do become something. So, if something comes out in 10 years, that's exactly what I'm talking about now. I'm not going to, say they copyrighted anything. I'm just going to tell everybody I told you so. that'll be all the pleasure in the world for me. And then I'm probably going to go give them a congratulations on hopefully getting the idea from me, or at least getting the right ideas to do something cool. So I really just want to help somebody out there. If you're continuing to listen to me, if you plan to listen to me consistently, you are the people that I really want to hear from. Tell me if you don't like me just going, free bird on these podcasts. Like if you think I could use some editing. I know I breathe really heavy. It's always stuffy where I live. I live in a mountain. So that's something we're probably all going to have to get used to. One good thing, though, is it's not going to be much longer until it's not really just me talking. We are going to be featuring some killer people from everywhere. We have Tyler Duff from Cincinnati area. He's going to be our first live guest. After that, it's LA. It's all Los Angeles after that. We got Ronnie Jackson, Antoine Way, Jeffrey Jones, Betty Jones. They're all coming out here. We are planning some crazy things. I will keep talking about those things as well. An update on the app that Talmadge Studer and myself are working on. It's not just Talmadge and myself. He's just the big wig of the company. So I always want to shout him out for any bit of recognition for this. So basically, we had an appointment. That was the second reason for my trip home. We had a meeting Friday set for moving forward for the app, basically. We are undergoing a bit of a name change for it. So if anyone out there knew it as Crowd DJ or has ever heard of me talking about Crowd DJ, that's the app. We are just not going to be using Crowd DJ. So there will be a bunch more to follow on that. But that was one of the big keys to me going home as well. And so it was kind of a bummer. But I ended up finding out that the programmers actually dropped a meeting on us. It's not anything bad. One of them, there's two guys that are involved, and one of them had some sort of family issues. And so we only wish the best for him. Nobody's angry that the meeting didn't, happen. So we are just sitting back and we're still planning everything out to a T until then. And there will be some really cool things to follow for that. So stay tuned for that. I know I haven't talked much about it a lot to anyone that knows me. But it's just because we are really trying to build a good foundation for it, because we think it's a pretty nice idea. And so we have pretty good patience for it. It'll be something really cool to talk about in the future. Let's see. Last thing I want to put out there. I hope somebody out there learned from my mistake. So make sure you guys book your flights directly through the airlines. Please don't use any of these crappy... They look like they're cheaper, better deals, but they get you somehow, I'm telling you. They get you in the fine print, terms and conditions. And none of us read that crap anymore. And I just don't want any of you to have a day start out like mine did. So, I'll leave it there. I want to put this out there on public record. I don't know how this is going to turn out, really. But I do believe that the Mayweather and McGregor fight is tomorrow, Friday night, or is it Saturday night? However, this is Thursday night, so just so you know, this is before the fight. I'm putting out what I think is going to happen, just because I think it'll be funny if I'm right. I really just, before I say anything, I just am not convinced that boxing and UFC and all that aren't rigged. So my decision I'm not too sure about, because I feel like they could just turn it however they want, but I don't know. But if you put those two right now in a cage with nothing interfering, just letting them fight, and I've thought long and hard about this. You have Mayweather and McGregor, but I just cannot help but feel like McGregor is going to win the fight. I don't know if he's going to knock Mayweather out, and that's where I think if he doesn't knock Mayweather out, I feel like Mayweather could just have that legend status over him. 12 rounds. Like, this guy doesn't know 12 rounds yet, so I'm worried about that. But just the way that this man has visualized things and the way that he has predicted some of his outcomes, some of his successes, And one of the biggest things I've learned over the past year and a half is that you really do have to visualize an attack. Waterboy, visualize an attack. But honestly, though, that is so true. And I'm really learning that it really is. And now I kind of understand. One of my beliefs is that Conor McGregor knew this was going to happen, probably 10 or 15 years before we even knew who he was. I really do think that he used the UFC as a stepping stone. I mean, the dude is like full blood Irish, like straight out of whatever grungy Ireland or Irish city you can imagine. I don't know where he's from, but like the dude is just Irish from all get out. And to me, that yells, boxing legend over UFC. But that is just my take. I don't know. I put it out there so that, hopefully I can get some of you to give me some stupid feedback if you don't give me any good feedback on the podcast. Let's see what your thoughts are. If he wins, I'm going to blast this podcast to probably to him, to all of his managers, to all of his trainers. He is one of the most inspiring athletes that knows how to brand. He's up there, in my opinion, or he's going to be up there, in my opinion, with like the Jordans, the LeBrons, the Kobes. He's going to really brand a lot of stuff, I think. And so one thing that Hartman Media is going to really push out is, the fact that we will represent athletes as well at any level. One thing I've been doing was looking at a couple of people at the skate park lately, basically seeing if any of them look like they may be sponsored or if any of them may be representing their own sort of brand. And one thing I want to do is really start reaching out to just anybody, like I said, and, try to brand them or help them get branded. So I'm going to leave it at that. I am going to probably put out some more content. Look for me and Tyler Duff, or I guess I should say Tyler Duff and me, coming up soon. Could be the 3rd episode. It may be the 4th episode now that I've put another one out. But more to follow there. I hope you all enjoy your weekend. Everybody stay safe and just try to, keep the peace and build each other up. If any of you have any questions on how to start doing something, I really, really encourage you to let me know. I want to help you guys. Let's do something. Let's build a project. You would be amazed at how far just a little bit of effort can take you to get started. And then it carries you from there. All right. Have a good weekend. Tune in next week or sooner for the next episode. It's going to be a mystery when I put the next one out. Everybody enjoy your weekend.